But he ran well enough, dropped to this trip last time.
Yeah, no, they dropped him back to 6th at Newmarket. It was a 7 furlong Brighton handicap. Well, not a particularly strong handicap he won on his first go at this level. He's been consistent. Unlike Sanat, the other 3-year-old, he's potentially becoming a little bit exposed, but he's got another win in him, at least off his current mark of 69.
If we can come back, drop back to number 8, so next one is 4, we'll come back to, we've seen 6, number 8 in cheek pieces. This is Giza Sub. Giza Sub, I thought, had a tough enough task in the Racing League at Chepstow last time.
Yeah, this is easier. He'd gone 3 years before winning at Ripon. A promising 2-year-old, an expensive breeds-up purchase. He's got a lot of ability, but that was a 0-60 at Ripon. This might be quite a competitive 0-72, so he does need to step up against that. The Paul Midgley team had a fantastic campaign. His sprinters have just been in great form throughout the season.
Let's drop back 2 horses and quickly touch on number 2, wearing their headgear. With the hood on Orma Lulu, the remaining Jamie Osborne runners, fairly enough treated.
She is. She's now £4 lower than that success at Leicester last August. And the 6th, her second start of this year, reads quite well, and she's actually dropped a fair bit from then. The problem is she's not really got involved the last twice. You can see with the hood on, she's very much on her toes. And you just wonder whether she's thinking about racing and not perhaps enjoying it. Just with that demeanour walking around the paddock, she's very, very much on her toes. But you go back to that Leicester form, she'd have every chance, just in danger of becoming disappointing.
Yeah, I thought her first 2 runs this year were okay, but perhaps not quite so good the last twice. So the last one we need to get back over by the hedge again is number 4. This will complete the set, so you'll see 7 who we've gone through. Number 4 with 2 handlers. This is Dolly Gray. Look, she won off this mark this time last year. This season she's finished last twice.
And it shows you how bad she's run this year, because she's back on the same mark as that quite impressive success at Sandown. She had 2 goes, as you say, beaten 12 and 24 lengths in both starts, and the handicap has dropped her right back down to that last winning mark. Normally it takes 5 or 6 goes to get back to your winning mark, but she's shown nothing. She is the main front running angle and should get an easy lead in front, but there is quite a headwind here at Nottingham today.
Well, you've seen all 7 of them. Number 1, Hierarchy, doesn't go in our 540, the My Pension Expert handicap. The bell has gone, so they'll be on their way to post shortly.
Next one to go down is the favourite Sanat, the light blue and yellow. Sylvester de Souza riding for Roger Varian. The colours of Mr. Nurlan Bizakov. Followed to post by number 8, Giza Sub for Paul Midgley, Mark Wynne. And the owners Chris Priestley and Jed Shields. 5, Safari Dream for Rod Millman. Ross Coakley riding. Yellow and black with the white sleeves and a white cap. Light blue is Orma Lulu with the tartan armlets for the Honourable A. Blythe. Jamie Osborne, Safi Osborne, maroon cap for Safi.
The thoughts of David Fitzgerald and James Millman in the paddock ahead of our next race at Nottingham, the second of 6 in total. We've seen our first from Ross Common, though. We can get some winning reaction with
Looks a two-horse race. I think the generational clash here should go to the 3-year-old. The two 3-year-olds here, I thought looked head and shoulders above the others. Arnaz ran all right when third at Newmarket last time, but Sanat probably is going to be hard to beat in this spot, I would imagine. Saw Safi Osborne was coming in. She's riding Ormalulu here for her dad, Jamie. Safari Dream's got bits and pieces of form, but really Sanat looked good when second at Southwell last time. He's on the up. And quite a few of these horses will struggle, I think, to get anywhere near him or Arnaz. Gissa Sub might be best of the rest for Paul Midgley, or the winner in these colours at Catterick yesterday. But I think Sanat would probably get my verdict, but I don't think Arnaz will be far away.
Upcoming, looking forward to it. For all that, it's just an intriguing puzzle to try and solve. Don't let 0 to 72 deceive you in the fact that a few of these are separated by a few pounds. In fact, Gizza Sub is the only one really who looks well below in terms of rating. It's quite a weak 0 to 72, the My Pension Expert handicap. I don't think James Millman was mincing his words out of turn at all. Sanat 11 to 10, second start after the wind up. Sylvester de Souza for Roger Varian. Arnaz, the main and only challenger really in the betting, 5 to 2. Gizza Sub 8 to 1. Ornalulu 10 to 1. Safari Dream 14 to 1. Jojo Rabbit 18 to 1. Dolly Gray 33 to 1. For me, David, this looks an excellent opportunity for the top two. Do you have a preference?
Well, I think Sanat, he is the obvious answer, but Arnaz did okay drop to this 6 furlongs last time. I still have my suspicion he might be slightly better at 7, but he's definitely a threat. I mean, that's a really sitting on the fence kind of answer here.
Yeah, Arnaz, he stayed on well over the 6 at Newmarket last time. Against the pace bias a little bit, it's not easy to make up ground sometimes on that July track at Newmarket, and he appeared to enjoy dropping back to the sprinting discipline. He's got that 7 furlong win at Brighton, and he just hit his level over the 7. I think Sanat has got more progression than him. I think he was very lucky to get that mark of 69 on the back of the Doncaster 4th, as I said in the paddock previous. Very mixed messages. King of Blues 113, I think, now to win. He was only 3.5 lengths behind him, but there were lower grade horses not too far behind him. And there was only 5 runners at Southwell when he finished second last time. He went up £1. He could easily have gone up a lot more because the winner had won his novice in his previous start, and could be quite nice. That's Sondad for the Easterby, so he could be very well treated. Whereas Arnaz is probably a little bit more exposed if you want to split the two. I think the market's probably got it spot on. Just a shame, no hierarchy. We've got no 3 places for each way betting because
no, frustrating.
Safari Dream, I think he's well handicapped if he just puts a little tiny bit of effort in, which he hasn't been doing all season. But there are 2 quite progressive 3-year-olds in the race today.
Jojo Rabbit's been running okay for the most part this year. Did win here a couple of summers ago, and has won on
6-time winner.
Yeah,
versatile. The 5.5 at Doncaster, they have just stretched him out a little bit. Before it had always been the bare minimum 5 furlongs. It's only his 3rd go over 6, but it's definitely worth another go. But he probably does need to step it up a little bit on his last 2 starts.
Yep, so they're going to be loading any moment now, inside a minute to post time. We've had the opening short price favourite, but there's, that was a different degree of short, 1 to 8 in our first race on the cards. Making no mistake there intrusively. Sanat is even money again, having touched 11 to 10. Arnaz 5 to 2, amount of Tom Marquand, and then a jump to Gissa Sub at 8 to 1, who will find this easier, but I thought he's going to need both of the front 2 to underperform.
Yeah, it was a 0 to 60 when he finally got back off the mark for a second career success at Ripon, and I think that Class 6 level compared to a Class 5 here, 0 to 72, which is actually for the grade strong enough, he will need to improve a fair bit on the Ripon form, and it might actually be the race in the league race cut up a little bit with all the rain that fell at Chepstow. But he's a classy horse back in the day. Like a lot of these are well treated, or you've got progressive 3-year-olds, so it's a race that could work out quite nicely.
Ormalulu, she was on her toes in the paddock. We've already mentioned her handicap mark is fair enough, but her last 2 runs maybe not all that. encouraging. She'll come out of stall number 4 under Safi Osborne. So Jojo Rabbit is still waiting to go in. Safari Dream as well for this second race on the evening. Start is imminent, so let's get back up to Anthony.
Thank you, David. And the last 2 are in, so we're set and they're off. Jumped away. Alma Lulu was a little bit slow for this, the My Pension Expert Handicap Stakes. One of the first to show is Dolly Gray in the grey colours with the maroon sleeves. Leading up to Safari Dream, the yellow with the white sleeves on the left. Just off the pace is Jojo Rabbit in the beige and brown colours. And then comes Gissa Sub in the cheek pieces, white and black. Arnaz is just in behind the speed, the second favourite. Quite far back, actually, in blue and yellow. Is behind the market leader, Sanat, who's in the pale blue colours. The back marker is Orma Lulu, maroon cap for Safi Osborne, as they race towards the centre of the track this time and head to halfway. And Orma Lulu just being chased along out the back as well, as they head then down with 2.5 furlongs to go. So up front, the leader is just about still Dolly Gray. To in second place, that is Safari Dream. Sanat is making smooth headway towards the stand side under Sylvester to get a lot closer in the pale blue. Towards the right-hand side, that's Dolly Gray and Jojo Rabbit. But now Sanat's gone on, but Arnaz is coming out of the pack to give chase as they come down with a furlong to go. So the big 2 go on. It is Sanat, got first run on Arnaz, who's trying to close for Tom Markham towards the near side. Sanat drifting left-handed, trying hard to close is Arnaz. Sanat in front, leads by about a half to Arnaz in second. Sanat's all out. Arnaz trying to close, going to get close this. Sanat just from Arnaz. Third Gissa Sub and fourth Safari Dream.
Well, that did get closer than had looked likely, certainly at the halfway point, but by around a neck, Sanat has held on from Arnaz, who was off the bridle a fair way out. Tom Marquand was nudging away, but you'd always back that horse to finish strongly. Sanat breezed through that for the most part, but you know, whether he's got a little bit in reserve, he's only just done enough maybe, but I thought those that backed him at even money would have been just worried for a second.
Yeah, the last 50 yards, he has had wind surgery prior to his second at Seville, and it maybe he's not going to be the strongest of finishers. He travels very nicely. He did at Doncaster in that final qualifying run where I think he's got a very lenient opening handicap marker, 69. They've got cover, those at the front end of 2 3-0s in the end. It is a bit of a strong headwind today, and it might not have helped those at the front. He's travelling too well, really, our winner. Whereas the second, Arnaz is actually off the bridle a little bit. You can see why he was running over 7 furlongs when he first went handicapping, and that's probably the difference between the 2 of them at the end, because Sylvester's horse has just perhaps used up a little bit too much Sanat when he's travelling that strongly in the early stages, whereas Tom Marquand has got a more efficient run through on the run-up because he couldn't keep up.
No, couldn't keep up, but got rolling late on to mount a challenge to Sanat. Again, Dolly Gray has dropped out sharply, having led. Orma Lulu was in trouble very early. She's plugged on past a couple in the end, with Gissa Sub finishing in third, but it's the first 3 in the betting in order.
Yeah, and the 2 3-year-olds are quite progressive for the grades. Jojo Rabbit, again, he's not quite seen out the 6, even though winning at the 5.5.
It's odd because the way he finishes 5.5, you'd say, well, he's going to get 6. But
I think it's the different tempo in the early stage. Over 5, they tend to go flat out from the start,
sure.
whereas 6, they go that bit steady, and he was just a little